back to room 237, and it's that time of year again where it's time to do another ho-ho horror. I know it's a stupid name, but for the entire month of December, when I can, I'll be doing everything Christmas related. Horror, Batman, otherwise, anything Christmas. I did quite a bit last year, so might be a little less I get to this year, unless I get to some stuff I'm not quite familiar with. But I do have plenty of things set aside to get to this month. So probably won't take any suggestions, because it might take a while to even get to what I already have planned out. Excuse me. But I thought, start off this year, why not do something really short, something very familiar. I think everyone knows and loves this. It is the 1966 classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, I know this seems a little weird that I'm talking about this on this channel, but I've always loved this. And there's two reasons why I actually wanted to go out and get this. One is, of course, it's narrated and voiced by Boris Karloff. That alone is enough to make me want to own this. And two, I was looking at the features. It's got some decent featurettes, but one in particular is TNT's special edition featurette, where it takes a look at the history of this special, hosted by the late, great Phil Hartman, who I've always loved ever since I was a kid. If it's not Dan Aykroyd, Phil Hartman is my favorite SNL cast member. I don't really think I need to go much into the plot of The Grinch. I mean, I really don't think there's anyone that doesn't know what this is. It came out in 1966, based on Dr. Seuss's 1957 a children's book. Says the sounds of The Grinch are by Boris Karloff and read by him too. And for years and years, because of that, with no real other voice credits, people thought Karloff sang the Grinch song, when in reality, Thurl Ravenscroft was the one that sung the Grinch song. And I didn't know this until I watched the Phil Hartman feature. He also does the voice for Tony the Tiger. Or that this was even directed by both Ben Washam and Chuck Jones. So this had the same illustrator as the guy that did all of our favorite Looney Tunes cartoons. Chuck Jones. That's awesome. And of course they wanted Boris Karloff to do the voice, which this was one of the last things Karloff did before he died. And of course, if you've been part of my channel for a while, you know I'm a huge Karloff fan. He's definitely my favorite horror icon. Probably my favorite actor as well. Just, his voice is so distinct. Both perfect for the Grinch, but also just perfect for that kind of storytelling. He has, I don't really know how to describe it. Perfect way, like the rhyming of Dr. Seuss. It seems very seamless when you're listening to Karloff read it. And of course, it's about the Grinch who lives on top of this mountain just north of Whoville. He hates Christmas, everything about it. All the Who's down in Whoville love Christmas. And I mean, he hates everything from, sure, I guess the commercialism. Which, this is the only Grinch film that I like. There was one I had when I was really young, VHS. It was actually an animated audiobook That was read by Walter Matthau. I still like that. I don't like the 2001 with Jim Carrey. I've never liked that one at all. I think it's too. I mean, I get the satire behind it, like the whole commercialism and kind of stab at materialism. It's just too much. It's too over the top. The world building looks nice, but I never liked Carrey as the Grinch. What I've seen of the 2016, 18, whichever one that is, the one with Benedict Cumberbatch, I didn't like that one either. Just, this is all we need for the Grinch. And it's what, a half hour long? And we get everything we need in this one story. I mean, we know enough about the Grinch, we know enough about the Who's and Whoville and Christmas and everything we need to know. We get the entire story and its resolution at the end in a half hour. There's really not an hour's worth of other stuff to cram in there to make a feature-length movie. Can I appreciate the Jim Carrey one? Sure. The makeup looks fine. I will say the Cumberbatch one is the one that's really unneeded. We didn't need an Illumination Grinch. I've always loved it. I did. Actually, the first time I saw this, because they didn't really play it as part of the, like, Rudolph, Frosty, Santa Claus coming to town, Year Without Santa. It wasn't really part of that playing every year when I was really young. I don't even think I saw this till I was about 10, 11, or 12 when I first saw it on TV. Of course, now they play it the night of Thanksgiving, which of course they do. But this has always been since then, it's always been my favorite Christmas special. Even as a young kid, before I ever really saw a Karloff film outside of Frankenstein, I always thought Karloff was perfect. When I first saw Jim Carrey, I mean, I was, 9 when that came out? Even then, I didn't like it. And I loved Jim Carrey when I was a kid. This also comes with Songs in the Key of Grinch, which we get interviews with the composer Albert Haig and the singer himself, Thurl Ravenscroft. He does sound like Karloff, and I mean, because of the credits, I can see why people would think it was Karloff. Which I think Karloff even got some residuals from this. If I'm not mistaken. But Dr. Seuss himself called Ravenscroft and apologized that he didn't receive credits. He was also in Horton Hears a Who, The Lorax, or the older specials of those, I think. But Karloff did receive the Grammy Award, which I guess that was the only major award that he ever won. But Karloff won the Grammy for the song. But if you think about it, this is like the most pure, you take what Christmas is, the most pure Christmas special. A guy hates Christmas. He thinks it's all about presents and, all about what you buy and put up for the year. Everything that looks Christmas. Of course, he also hates all the noise and all that. Steals it the Who's don't care. They just love Christmas. And then he realizes that Christmas means a little bit more. His heart grows. He gives Christmas back. And he celebrates with them. That's one thing the other ones got wrong. Was, like in the Jim Carrey one, all the Who's except for Cindy Lou were upset that their presents and everything were taken. The other one, I don't know. I don't really care. But we also didn't need a backstory on the Grinch. It's just a green guy that hates Christmas. That's all we need to know. We don't need to know his backstory. To me, this is the perfect Christmas special. Half hour long. You get the whole Christmas, the whole like meaning of Christmas and appreciation of Christmas with its central character. I will say this, as far as stories, because there's also a bunch of adaptations of that. This and A Christmas Carol are probably my two favorite Christmas stories. In particular, my favorite Christmas Carol is the one with George C. Scott. That one also had Jim Carrey. The one with Jim Carrey is okay. It's much better than his Grinch. But yeah, I don't really know much of what else to say about it, other than, let this usher in my marathon of Christmas-themed reviews. I do love the look of it. Of course, the book was black and white, but I think the color and the animation worked perfectly. I love the voice of Thurl Ravenscroft as the singer. Boris Karloff was a perfect choice for the narration and the voice of the Grinch. Something that, if you can find the one with Walter Matthau, I watched that when I was really young. I still think that one works. That's probably the second best release of any kind of the Grinch. I'll put that, the animated book with Walter Matthau, I'll put that over Jim Carrey and Benedict Cumberbatch. Also, a lot of times with constant rhyming, it can either get kind of annoying or forced. But here, it just, because it's such a fantasy story, and Karloff's voice is so perfect. The rhyming seems very seamless and works very well. But I've always loved this. It is definitely my favorite Dr. Seuss story. As far as specials go that they air on television, this is my favorite special. It's the only one I own. Of course, I went and got it because of Boris Karloff. I do miss Phil Hartman very, very much. It's a shame what happened to him. Also, this comes with the Grinch's The Cat in the Hat. That one, I'm not sure what that is. But Halloween is Grinch Night. That was a 1977 special. It comes on here as well. So this really is the ultimate edition. But yeah. So I'll just let this be the first... I'll let this be the first review for the Room 237 Christmas season. I know it's kind of weird seeing me talk about something like this, but I've always loved this. Rewatching it again, I still enjoyed it. I will put this under my Karloff playlist. But with that, it's pretty amazing that this is one of, even with how briefly I went over the plot, I was able to talk about this for about 15 minutes, not really get into the story, because everyone has seen this. I think everybody knows and loves this story. If you like Jim Carrey or Benedict Cumberbatch, that's fine. they're just not for me. I don't think there's really an hour's worth of material to add, of new material to add to this story. It's already perfect like this. But this is the beginning of my Christmas reviews. So, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, love it. Boris Karloff is great. Sung by Thurl Ravenscroft. Wow. Anyway, stay tuned for more Christmas reviews for the rest of the month. Thank you for watching.